What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder here at Dream Firms, where we create generational wealth and impact for entrepreneurial accountants by systemizing how they attract, win, and retain the business of their dream clients. But in order to do that, in order to fulfill that mission and get to that dream firm significantly faster, there is this ball and chain that is holding you back. And you're trying to move and you're trying to run and you're trying to get to that dream firm as fast as you can. And this ball and chain that just will not get off of your ankle, you have the key to it. That key is being able to fire the bad clients that are taking all of the energy, love you have for your firm, the profitability, and it's siphoning it and it's slowing you down and it's holding you back. So for today's Dream Firm Spotlight, we're going to discuss bad clients are stifling your firm. You got to fire them now. But before we discuss how you do that, why it's so important to do that, I've got a little bit of a disclaimer to just make very clear here. Breaking up with anyone is hard, and definitely for paying clients. And you have most likely either heard or used the line, "It's not you, it's me," in the breakup scenario. And in all fairness, there is a decent chance that the clients that you want to fire are potentially, possibly dream clients in hiding, and it may be you who actually does need to make the changes to help them become dream clients. Now, they may be happy to pay a higher price to you, but you never asked for it. They may be happy to comply with your policies and procedures, but they simply didn't know they were violating them. The disclaimer here is known as Hanlon's razor. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it states, never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by neglect, ignorance, or incompetence. So please, before you break out the flamethrower and torch down your client list like you're Kurt Russell in The Thing, right? Let's make sure it's not anything you can control, like how clearly you communicate your expectations to your clients. Now, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about why you have to fire clients before we dig into how you should fire them and also how to know if you should fire them. What are the telltale signs of clients that need to be removed? So why is always the most important question, and your ability to care for someone is a hyper-limited resource. Your time is also a hyper-limited resource. And the example I always like to give to clients that are going through our Create Your Dream Firm program, and I'm explaining to them that, hey, that ball and chain, we got to do something about it to help you move faster to your dream firm and to acquire more dream clients. We got to do something about that. And the analogy I give is like, listen, those clients, that the ones you refer to that you really need to hold their hand through everything, they just can't seem to even tie their shoelaces in the morning. They take up one hand. And then let's say that you got another problem client. You got another bad client that takes up another hand. You only got two hands. And so with your two hands no longer available to you, please tell me, how are you going to find the time to be able to work on your firm if your two problem clients are taking up the vast majority of your resources? And that assumes you only have two problem clients instead of 10 or 30 in some instances. So the why here is your ability to care. Again, your time is so limited that in order for you to be able to create and build and work on your firm, it starts with removing and reducing. And to put a little bit of tangibility to this, the clients that we work with that explode, they recognize this as a critical step in growth. And there's a book called, I think, Necessary Pruning or Necessary Endings. And it talks about how everything in life, the rose bush, right? You got to trim it back so that it can grow, so that it can bloom, so that it can be beautiful. Same thing's true here. Our best clients, they all routinely, not once in their life, routinely trim their client list. Our most successful client, he's on pace to add over $1 million in about 2.5 years. He trims his client base, bottom 10% every quarter like clockwork. Every quarter like clockwork. You're in the bottom 10%. And the reason he can do that with confidence and certainty, he knows he can replace them with higher paying, more profitable clients. So he has no reason to tolerate the bottom tier clients, okay? Okay, so now it's normally pretty obvious who problem clients are, right? They usually come to mind pretty quick. But if you're not entirely sure, here is 7 surefire ways to tell it is past time to remove these parasites from your firm. And yes, parasites in the truest sense of the word, they are an organism that lives in or on an organism for another species, its host, and benefits by deriving nutrients at the other's expense. These nutrients, though, it's your profitability. They're literally stealing profitability, money, and time from your firm without a meaningful return, if any return at all, on those nutrients that you're letting go. So here are the 7 surefire ways that you know it is time to remove them. Number 1, are you questioning your existence after every interaction with them and feeling just absolutely drained of the love of your business? Fire them. Number 2, have you done the money math? AKA, are they unprofitable? If you even have to wonder this question, the answer is they're not. Fire them. Number 3, do you find yourself ranting either privately in your mind or publicly in Facebook groups or to employees about this client or set of clients? If yes, fire them. Number 4, are they constantly whining about your pricing or late in paying every single bill, taking up time, profitability to chase them down? If yes, fire them. 5, are they rude to you, your staff, or towards the work you have done on their behalf? If yes, fire them. Number 6, are they constantly making you redo your work because they think they know better than the expert they hired? You know, the people who jump into QBO and then mess up all the stuff and then you have to go and do it? Fire them. 7, do they no longer align with the vision you have for the future of your firm? Consider shipping them to a friend or colleague as a way of firing them. So again, I just want to make this, and this brings me to really the final point here, is that not every client that needs to be fired is a problem client. Sometimes they're just not a good fit. And they're good people, but they are still holding your firm back from its true potential. And even if they're not good people, that doesn't mean that we let them turn you into a monster or a bad person when you go to sever this relationship. And I know sometimes it is hard to be the bigger person when you're doing everything you can to help someone and they are simply not appreciative. I know how hard that is, but anything worth doing isn't easy. Now, breaking up with people, good or toxic, can be very difficult to do. It's why so many entrepreneurial accountants stay stuck in what I would consider an abusive relationship in many respects with their bad clients for so long. But once you realize that just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of short-term discomfort outweighs long-term discomfort, you can move forward with how to fire a bad client. So you really just have to internalize, okay, I know that this is going to suck a little bit for, it's usually like 24 to 48 hours. Honestly, it's not a good feeling. You think about it quite a bit, but then after that period of time is over, when you've severed the relationship, I promise you, you will feel right as rain. So to be able to do this the right way, always follow the golden rule, which is to treat others the way yourself would want to be treated, right? Pretty straightforward. So this is the 5-step plan for how you fire someone from your firm and how to do it professionally, because you're always going to be professional at all times, even when severing a toxic relationship. So number 1, and this is more just like a mental thing, you are not legally required to work with anyone. Okay, so there is no paralysis by analysis in this situation, except for the ones that you force yourself into. There is no legal requirement for you to continue working with this person. You are in full control from start to finish. So take control of the situation in a professional manner. Step number 2, finish out the current project you were on, but nothing beyond it. If you're midway through the tax return, push through and finish it. I know, hey, I'm fired up, Tyler. You got me fired up to fire people. I'm Kurt Russell. I'm gonna use that flamethrower. But please, professionals finish what they start. And if you're halfway done that cleanup project, just finish it. You'll feel better knowing you met your promise. You won't have to worry about a partial refund, some weird claw back. Just finish the promise that you're currently working on. Step number 3, ensure your bills have been paid in full before you pull the trigger, because you're not going to get paid once you pull the trigger unless you just want to simply write off the income as a loss. Do not do any additional work until any outstanding bills have been paid, and do not sever the relationship until it is done. Okay, so in other words, get paid on what has been done. And look, I want to be clear. My principle for all of our clients is you don't do work until you're paid. But I know for a lot of you that are trying to transition to having a dream firm, you're still doing work and then invoicing. You got to inverse that as soon as possible. So if you're in that situation, get the invoice paid, but do not do the additional work. And then you can disengage in a much cleaner way. Okay. Number 4, if you have a retainer, if you're on an hourly billing model, again, just to be clear, don't recommend this, but a lot of people still use it. If you have a retainer, do the math on what needs to be returned to the soon-to-be former client. You're not going to keep that money. Just do the math. What's left over, you can either include in the check, which we're going to talk about in the next step of how you do the disengagement. But this is really the preparation for disengagement. So you have no reason to be like, I'm not sure if I can do this. Can I do it? Is it the right thing to do it? This is the best way to go about it. Meet your current obligations. Understand what the math is to be able to disengage, whether it's collecting money or giving money back. And then the 5th and final step is notify them in writing by certified mail and email that you are no longer going to be able to work with them and that no future billings will take place. Now, that's usually where most people would say, all right, good night, everyone. But here at Dream Firms, we actually like to help people and not have you do any guesswork. Crazy concept. So this is the disengagement letter, and I'm going to read it to you. I'll put it in the description down below, just so you guys can copy and paste it, make your life easier. Crazy concept, service, help you make your life easier. But here's the way that I would word this. And look, even if you say, I don't really like it, you're 80% of the way there with this. But the main message is you don't want to be wordy. You don't really need to explain yourself in a dramatic fashion. You don't need to treat this like a divorce where you're going to need to sit down with a lawyer and you got to write all these things that, like, you don't need to treat it like that. It's nothing even remotely close to that. Okay. Business relationships come and go. It's a part of life. You're just the one that's choosing to go. So in the letter / email, it's literally exactly the same. Dear name of client to be fired. Obviously, you'll hopefully change that text out. Dear name of client to be fired. First, we want to thank you for trusting us with your business. It's been a pleasure to have you as a client. However, we will no longer be able to service your account moving forward into the future. This wasn't an easy decision, but we looked at the future of what we want to accomplish and had to make some hard choices. Please let this notice serve as the end of our business relationship. No further changes will take, no further charges will take place on your card, and your account will be closed out by the end of the month with our firm. We wish you the best of luck in finding a new firm to handle your needs in the future. And again, thank you for the opportunity to work with you. Done. Now, some people might hear this and go, is that enough? Will that be enough? Don't I need to talk to them? And the truth is you could, but I promise you're going to end up needing to say more than you have to. And this to me is the shortest, sweetest way to get to the end result that you need. And the truth is like, once they realize that like you don't want to work with them, they kind of understand that like, okay, I got to go do something else. Maybe they will respond a little bit, but out of all the people I've consulted to do this with, I have a total of zero horror stories. I've never had someone that, oh, they got so mad, or they wrote these mean things about me, or they did da-da-da-da. It's like, they just go away. They literally just go away. So just let them go away, because you don't even want to keep them as clients. And this is the easiest, fastest, most efficient way to get to the end result that will allow you to use the key that's in your hand, unlock the ball and chain that's on your feet, which is literally your bad clients, and to move faster to your dream firm. And if you want more help with any of that, there will be links floating around to book a call. you'll speak directly with me to explore our Create Your Dream Firm program. I want to make sure you're a good fit for what we have going on. But if you're listening to this and it's vibing and resonating with you, there's a good chance you'll love everything else we have to offer to you. So thank you so much for your most precious resource. I hope I have given you a good return on that investment of time. And remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your workday and use that key, get that ball and chain off your feet and move to your dream firm fast.